All right, Destin. This is practice number 2. We tried to get you in here yesterday, but of course, something's going around with all the sicky stuff. So I'm going to go ahead and do this video for you real quick so we can keep you on schedule. I prefer you be here in the classroom or in the office, in the studio. That way I can show you all these things with like the ball and, how I write things down. And even for you, there's a couple different exercises that I want you to do, and I want you to write things down. So first things first, let's just sort of chill out and remember things from last week, because that's what we do. We go over the last week concepts for about 5 minutes, and then we're going to push into this week's concept. So remember last week where we were talking about the C and the claw and how to hold your hand. And the reason why that was so important is because when you play the notes, you don't play the notes like this, right? You play the notes like this. And it's very important that you learn how to hold your hand in this position. Not so much because you're going to claw at the piano, but because you need to be able to hang your hands over where they need to be in order to play in between the keys. And the position that you're going to be here, right, versus here, you're not going to run into the black keys that are slightly raised above the white keys. So let's go ahead and show you once again. Like if you were here, I would ask you to grab the ball, put it in your hand. You need to do this for both hands too. You can't just do it for the right hand or the left hand. You need to be able to do it, because what this is really strengthening when you hold the ball like this. Notice how all my fingers are off the ball, right? All of them, and I'm sort of holding it with the big meaty part of my thumb, right? So you're going to palm the ball so that all your fingers are off the ball. Okay, what this does is it zooms in on the most important part of playing the piano, and that's where your fingertip, right? Not your fingernail, not the meaty part of your finger, but the tippy part, the part where you can almost feel the bone. That's the part you're going to hit the keys with. And that's why it's really important to maintain the shape, because eventually your hand's going to get tired. You're going to want to just play and put your hand wherever you want to, but then the notes will not sound as good. Like if I were to play flat, I could play it, but notice how it's just, I can't get that movement. Versus if I play straight down, there are techniques where you're going to have to be able to move your thumb underneath your middle finger. So if you want to practice that right now by just like looking, right? Once you get this, the very next thing is you want to make sure that when you have this position, that when you touch your other hand or you clap your other hand, that all of your fingertips are touching, right? Now, if you do this and then all of a sudden it goes flat like that, then you did it wrong. Okay, you need to just hit the fingertips so that all fingertips hit, because we all know that there's a longer finger here than the rest of these. But when you make this shape and pull this finger back and then extend the pinky just a little bit, all of these tips will hit at the exact same time, and that's what we're looking for. So a practice that I'm going to have you do is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Switch. And then you go over here. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Switch. And what I want you to do is, I don't want you to smash your finger until it hurts, but I want a little bit of impact, because that's the impact that we're going to be simulating on the keyboard. All right. You're going to have to get used to your fingers almost bouncing, like they're on a trampoline, right? Because you want to be able not just to play the note, but to be able to play it hard and soft when you want to. For example, with strong fingers, I can play these really loud notes, or if I want to, right? And if your hands aren't strong in that position, you'll go to play that hard note and you'll be like, you'll end up playing the wrong notes, right? Because of how this position works in your hand, you can easily separate the fingers. And when you practice this exercise, it widens the space in between your fingers. And that's what we want to be able to do. You want to have this like sort of wide claw. Like when you did the claw, which is a really awesome claw, by the way, you do it like this, right? And your fingers are almost close together. We want to get those fingers far, far apart. And that's why we use the ball and the impact techniques to get your hand in that so that you can feel those sensations, right? Because we don't want to do that on the piano. We will eventually use that practice to come down to the piano and make sure that the ball fits. See, I'm playing the piano right now with the ball inside my hand. I'm playing the piano with the ball inside my hand. And I want to get you to the point where you can easily do that either on 1 or 2 notes. Okay? Moving on to the second part. Let me go. Actually, you know what? Let's go ahead and get this up here. I want to show you this. This is the practice 2 that I made for you. We went ahead and covered the second part of this. We're going to go ahead and go over the first part. If you see, let's see if I can. I don't know if you can see my mouse. It's right here in the middle. I'm going to zoom in on this part right here. This is what I like to call ladder 23 or ladder 2/3. And what I'm going to have you do is I'm going to make you make the design of the piano. Now you can make it big or you can make it small. What this is going to do is to start building a picture of the keyboard in your head, right? When you draw it out, you draw the map. The map is now inside your head. It can get really confusing when you see nothing but just what looks like black and white lines. So what we're doing here, just like Google Maps, we are going to build the keyboard. We're going to draw it real quick. And then we are going to zoom in on C because C is the most important. Okay, so the way we're going to do this is, let's see. Should I just, no. Let me grab this guy. All right, I got my little whiteboard right here. I'm going to show you how to do this real quick. Hopefully you can get this all on camera. And Destin, if you can't do this right away with like a crayon or a pencil or a pen, I'm pretty sure your dad could draw this because all it is a rectangle with lines in it. And the reason I call it ladder 23, is because of the pattern. So first we're going to do ladder 23 or 2/3. And oh crap, I should definitely get a better marker. Okay, so let's see if I can't do this real quick. If you were here, this would be super easy to do. We're going to draw a rectangle like this, okay? And then we're going to draw a bunch of lines. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Let's draw a line right here. And all we're going to do is wherever you want to start, pick one of the lines, and we're going to color that in. 1, 2. Skip. We're going to skip the line. 1, 2, skip. 1, 2, 3. Skip. 1. And as we go down, as you can see, we sort of have a keyboard on its side like this. See that? And what I want you to do is after you're done, you can make this big, you can make this small. You could do it again like super long, make it really. And just put in just a random amount. See how it looks like a ladder? See how it looks like a ladder right there? And then we're going to put the 2, 3 pattern in there. So we're going to do 1, 2, skip a line, 1, 2, 3. Skip a line, 1, 2, skip a line, 1, 2, 3. Skip a line, 1, 2, skip a line, 1, 2, 3. And eventually you will have a rendition of the keyboard pattern, okay? And so ladder 23 is the keyboard pattern when you're drawing it. And what you need to know, and this is why C is so important, wherever you start with the 2, that's where C is. So right before the 2, this is C. This is C. This is C. This is the C note on the piano. And that's what we're practicing. I don't care about all the other notes right now. The goal of this exercise is to get you to know where C is on the piano, no matter what piano you sit down at, and how many Cs. So the question, the homework for this week is how many Cs, how many C notes are on an 88 keyboard piano? Okay, that's the question. That's the homework for this week. And I want you to, ask your dad, say, hey, Dad, can you draw me a ladder real quick? And then just go in and circle this. So as you can see on my drawing, all right, put this down. As you can see on my drawing on the screen right here, see how I circled very lightly where the C note is? And then here's a smaller version, and then here is C, D, E, and then the 2 black notes. And all that you're trying to do for this exercise, I'm going to repeat it again, is just find C on the piano. So that next week when you do come here, that's the first question I'm going to ask you. Hey, go over there and hit at least 2 C's notes on the piano. So you might come over the piano and you might like, oh, there's a C, there's a C, there's a C, there's a C. And notice how they all sound exactly the same. Notice that? See, they're just higher and lower. Now this leads me into the last part of the lesson. Okay, it's really, really fun. So we're gonna go down here, and this is another practice for you. So as you can see, remember we were talking about ones and fives, and when you sit down at the piano, your 1 on your right hand and your 1 on your left hand, okay, are going to be the pinky in the left and the thumb in the right, okay? And we discussed this last week, and the reason that we did this is because we need to remember that our ones are always low, and that's why I wrote it down here, is that, I shouldn't have moved that. I meant to move this. Okay, ones are low, fives are high. That's another question that I'm going to ask you. Find the C's. What's ladder 23? How many C's are on the piano? And which one are low and which one are high? Ones are low, okay? Ones are low, right? And the fives, which is the exact opposite, right, are highs. And the reason is if I say, go over there and play C with your ones, you would come over here, take your 1 on your left hand and the 1 on your right hand, and you would play 2 C's right next to each other. And if I said, okay, now play your 2s. If C is your 1, what is your 2? That would be D. 3, 4, 5, right? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. So fives, the way I'm teaching you right now, fives, right, on your hands are exactly the way that you count. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 is high, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1 is low. Okay? And I want you to understand that concept very, very, very well, because eventually when we start doing jingle bells, right, which is something that I know you want to do, we're going to be sort of using that method of, do we go up or do we go down, right? And I know you know how to do this. If I were to say, follow my voice, jingle bells, jingle all the way. And knowing that ones are low and fives are high will teach you how to go up the keyboard for those high notes and go down the keyboard for those low notes. So what I want you to do, right, for this particular concept is just remember, ones are low, fives are high. So just remember, if you say 5 and high, they're sort of, that's a nice little rhyme to remember it. So if I ask you which ones are high, ones or fives, and you go, oh, fives are high, and you'll get it right away, all right? And the reason that we go through all this is because eventually when you use that all together, like using your claw, coming down, putting your ones on the C's, we are going to start practicing 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Okay? And that's really, really, really important that we remember where those notes are going and where they're coming from, so that when we hear melodies, like such as Jingle Bells, we can pick out the notes that are important, like jingle bells, jingle bells. Jing, where's it go? It goes high. Oh, and then really low, low, higher. Do you hear it? So, and then so we do it really slow at first, and then we get a little bit faster and a little bit faster. But this is to help you figure out how to learn a melody with your hand. Okay, using your hand in very particular positions, very good positions, and then just going up or down depending on the melody that you're studying. Okay, so those are the 4 things. I'm going to go ahead and get out of here. Like I said, the teaching portions of these lessons are anywhere between 15 and 20 minutes. We're hitting the 15 mark right now, which is really good. If you have any questions, please go ahead and put them in the comments. I'm going to zoom out on this really quick so we can cover this. Number 1 was we're going to zoom in on C using ladder 23 pattern. Number 2, what is the most important part of the claw? Right? What's the most important? Number 3, which ones are high and which one are low from the 1s and 5s? Okay. And then for tempo training, I want you to practice, doing patty cake. I know you know how to do patty cake. You can do this with your dad, right? And you say, so jingle bells, right? Jingle bells, jingle bells, jingle, and you're only gonna hit someone else's hand when the pitch changes. So if the pitch changes, then you can change your hands. But if it stays the same, you clap. So jingle bells, jingle, change, jingle, and then it changes again, all the way, right? See how it changes 5 times after the first 6. So jingle bells, jingle all the way. Every time there's a pitch change, you are clapping the hand of the other person. Okay, this is a great thing to do with your dad. And what it allows you to do is to start separating the pitches. So when you hear a new pitch, you know there's a change and you can't play the same note again. All right? So 4 things again. We're gonna wrap this up. Zoom in on C. What is the most important part of the claw, right? Just like a normal claw. If you had a claw in your hand, what's the most important part? The knuckle? The back of the hand? The inside? No, the most important part of the claw is the pointy part. So the tips of the fingers, right? Which is highs or lows as far as 1s and 5s. And then change the pitch, right? With jingle bells when you're learning to change the pitch. And then what this also does is when you change the pitch, it allows you to also stay in tempo. So I want you to practice that. However you sing it. You might sing it fast. Jingle bells, jingle all the way, right? Or you might do it. Jingle bells, jingle all the way. All right? Well, that wraps it up. And like I said, I want you guys to have a wonderful, fun time. I'm going to call you guys again on Sunday to make sure everything is good to go and that you remembered all this stuff. Or if you have any questions, by all means, put them in the comments below. I will check them, get them right back out to you. And that should be good. So I hope you guys have a lot of fun. And I will see you next Thursday at 11 o'clock. Bye.